Hello. Thank you. I'm not stripping tonight, so that's going to be hard to top. But I did just want to start with a question, and that is, what does 5 minutes mean to you? Have you ever really thought about it? Have you ever put emphasis on 5 minutes ever? Probably not. I mean, in reality, 5 minutes is pretty much equivalent to a New York minute, as they say. I mean, we spend 5 minutes watching commercial breaks, we spend 5 minutes on hold, we spend 5 minutes, way more than 5 minutes, scrolling the phone. And 5 minutes is really like blinking now. But what if I said that the next 5 minutes was the last 5 minutes of your life? Would that change it a little bit? I imagine and hope that it would. And my question is, what would you say and what would you do with that time? I know for me, I've been thinking about this for a while now, and it's a pretty overwhelming thought. There is so much that I would want to say, so many messages I'd want to leave behind, and an overwhelming amount of insight in my short time that I would want to leave. One of them, and I think one of the most important, is realizing that we are creators. And this is something that hits home for me and I feel is really important to leave behind as a message. I really feel that our thoughts create our reality and that what we think in our mind will land in our lap. And that life isn't happening to you, but it's actually happening for you. And that every day we are creating and shape-shifting our reality. I think it's very, very important to take control of that thought and then look at the universe and our reality as a playground. Another thought that I think is important to leave behind, and as John Mayer says, is to always say what you need to say. I think in our society that we tend to get intimidated with putting ourselves in a vulnerable spot, and that in turn ends up being bottled up emotions and bottled up things that we never say. And I know for myself, this is probably my biggest struggle, but also one thing that I constantly try and work on. I try and change my mind shift away from, being the bearer of bad news, or I don't want to burden someone with my thoughts or my opinions, to, these are courageous conversations, and I'm doing everyone, myself included, a disservice by not being honest and authentic. So I really do believe that saying what you need to say is a vital message that I would leave behind. Another one is really taking the time and assessing what is acceptable to you. I think in our world, complacency sneaks up on us. And that may be because we don't spend the time thinking about what we deserve, where we draw the lines, and what our boundaries are. I think it's really, really important to take those moments and assess what you choose to accept, and that being in your relationships, in yourself, in your finance, in your health, everything. I think truly understanding what you deserve and what your worth is will help you skyrocket your life. And even though I had so many things I wanted to talk about, and it's so overwhelming because 5 minutes is not a long time, and as I sit here and watch the clock go, and as I've been contemplating this presentation, one of the things, and I think the most important, is that what I've realized is that time passes by so quick. And for the past couple months, I have been so anxious and stressed about 5 minutes on stage is gonna feel like an eternity. And in reality, I've got 59 seconds left. And I think that's just a general rule of thumb, that time really does slip away before we even know it. And if we let those moments pass by and we don't emphasize 5 minutes, 30 seconds, 2 minutes, all of a sudden that's what life turns into. And it can steamroll and steamroll. Because in reality, life is just a series of 5-minute moments. So I think the key is to maximize every single second of it. And as I have 25 seconds left, my question to you guys would be, if you had 5 minutes, a stage, an audience, and a microphone, what would you prioritize and leave as your last message? I've got 10 seconds left, but that's it for me, guys. Thanks for listening.